everybody! Happy New Year! Happy 2015! Welcome everyone to the Sphinx Gamer Podcast. This is our first episode. We're out there now. Why not? The site has been live, sphinxgamer.com, in case you don't know. It's been live for, about a month, and decided, let's do a podcast. Let's talk about games. Let's talk about life and all that good stuff. So the plan is to, do a podcast, I guess, every week. Publish it every Thursday. Why not? Hashtag YOLO. I feel like I haven't introduced myself yet. Right now, for this first episode, it's just me. My name is Robert. On the site, I use Sphinx. But, feel free to, call me both. Doesn't matter to me. My name is Robert. I am the founder and editor-in-chief of SphinxGamer.com. In case you don't know much about the website, it is a video game website, blog, devoted to everything gaming. The focus really is on indie, but right now we're pretty much just on just about everything. For those who love video games, like myself, who have a passion for it, and it's about, bringing community together. Community engagement. Since it's the first episode, of course, there's not much community engagement, just me talking. But feel free to look us up on Twitter. It's Sphinx _ Gamer. Look for the logo, because apparently there's another person on Twitter with the exact same name as Sphinx Gamer, without the underscore. So make sure you look at the logo there. But in the future, for future week episodes, I want to, read your comments or questions, answer them here on the podcast. So I think that would be pretty cool. We're also on YouTube as well. In case you don't know much about the website, I suggest you take a look there at the About video. It's only a couple minutes long. It talks a little bit about the site. You get to see me, stuff like that. So welcome again to the Sphinx Gamer Podcast. So I hope everyone had a great 2014, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully, this next year, 2015, will be just as good, if not better, for a lot of us. Let me tell you about my past year. It was pretty exciting. At times it was frustrating, but I feel like I'm better, stronger now than who I was a year ago. And I think that's important to, go back and take a look at your own life to see, do you feel better? Is your life better now than what it was a year ago? If nothing's changed, then nothing's changed. If it's worse, then I'm sorry. But, the future, you can look forward to that, to make things better. Something to look forward to. But, the one piece of advice I have to say about that, since I'm a victim of thinking too much about the future, is to really, focus on the present. Plan out a couple days, maybe a couple weeks in advance, but don't think about things too far ahead, or else you'll lose yourself. You'll lose things that are right in front of you that are obvious in the present. I moved here, actually. I packed up my car and I drove across country from Philadelphia. I'm based here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I just needed a change in my life. Just needed a change. Because really, at the end of the day, only you have the power to change things in your life. And I am getting a little bit into philosophy. Forgive me, I know this is a video game. You guys come in expecting this to be video games. And the first episode really, and I think this is great that I'm the only host here today, is that it's a little bit about, giving you a little bit of insight into who I am, life, and perspective, and then we'll get on to the games, because for the most part this is going to be about games. But I just feel like talking about this, so forgive me. But I do think that life is what you make it, and that you have the power to, if things are not going your way, if you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like where you're living, if you don't like where you're working, you have the power to change that. And 2013 was an interesting time for me. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like there was nothing for me in PA. So I changed that. And I don't think you need a whole lot of money to do that. I think that what you need is just your own belief in yourself to go ahead and do that. And so I packed up and I drove. I got from Pennsylvania to Arizona in 3 days, and so began my new life in paradise. And I think that that entire journey it's a journey of trying to find my own path. And I hope that this can go on to you as well. That to find out your own destiny. And I think that by moving here, and I finally realized that how much things are not in my control. I moved for a variety of reasons, but I wanted to have my life in my own hands. I wanted to have my own destiny, my own future, where I wanted to go in my own hands. I didn't want that to be dictated by other people. And so I will admit that I've worked quite a few more jobs than other people my age, but I think that gave me perspective. And I think and it was just, if it wasn't for one of the jobs that I had, I don't think I would have started Sphinx Gamer. It was a small business. He's an entrepreneur. It was in transportation, and he just, watching him, gave me perspective. Gave me, I said to myself, what the heck, let's do it. So I I didn't see myself as one to go ahead and build something and run with it. I always saw myself as, trying to get in with an already established company, work for Microsoft or Intel or any of the bigger companies. I worked in hotels, so I worked for, the big names in that industry, and I thought that was something that was going to keep me satisfied, that I was going to be content. And months down the road, I realized that's not who I am. I'm not content. Or at least I wasn't going to be content in those positions. I wanted more. I wanted something challenging. I wanted something that would allow me to set myself apart from others, because maybe it's just me, but being normal, doing what everyone else is doing, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's going to put you like everybody else. And life is what you make it. I think I think that we should all embrace individuality, our own individuality, and to break apart from the others. And I was too busy being passive than aggressive in pursuing my own goals. I had goals in my life, places that I wanted to do. Travel was one of them. I wanted to see the world, wanted to see the country. But I was passive, saying that, you know what, I'm going to get to it one day. It doesn't have to happen right now. I can wait. I can wait. I'm doing something right now. Yeah. What am I doing? Well, obviously it wasn't something that I had passion in. It wasn't something that I wanted to keep on doing. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do this. But instead, I let other people talk me out from doing those things. Or I stayed because of a facade idea that I was going to be more comfortable being in a position or in a place that I knew. It's very interesting how, we fear the unknown. And I speak to other people about this, and we do. Humans do. We fear the unknown. We fear what we don't know. We don't want to go someplace where we don't know. We don't want to go down a path where we don't know anyone or we've never experienced before. But I think that's what makes life so exciting. I think that's what made 2014 so exciting, was because I took those risks, because I took those chances, and things always work out. So I believe. So things have been so far. Things have worked out. So, I urge you to, take a risk or two, because it brightens up and it makes that regular, normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day it might be, makes it just a little bit more exciting. Makes you want to live rather than going through a grind. Right now I work a full-time day job to pay for living expenses and things like that. If I could, if I wanted to, I would devote my entire time and energy to Sphinx Gamer. Writing articles, doing podcasts, making YouTube videos, playing games all day. That's my passion. That's what I want to do. You know, talking to the brightest and the best of gaming and interactive entertainment and going through and all that stuff and producing content. Not just any kind of content, though, but good content, I hope, to viewers all around the world. That's what I want to do. I didn't go to school for writing, for journalism, or for video production or anything like that. If you read my state of the site a couple weeks ago, I think it was actually last week though, I made a post about the state of the site, and I spent some time going over the few site analytics and other things like that, and the one thing I said is that this has been a learning experience. Another reason why 2014 was so exciting was because of all the things I learned. Not from work and regular life and things like that, but from going through and doing things like this, doing an audio podcast, putting things in production and making videos, and it's just been fun. It's been fun. It's been great. And things are going to get better the more that I do it. But I think it's something to recommend to others to go out there and do something that you've never quite done before, to follow your passion, and maybe try to turn that into something more than a hobby, because that's something that I'm trying to do. One can only hope. And if things don't work out, then things don't work out. But that doesn't mean that you have to drop it or quit it or move on. Maybe you need to, try to put your life in a way so that you can eventually devote full time to it. If you're working a very low wage job and you live in a crappy part of town and you want to move up in life or you want to buy a new car, then you got to take a second job. You got to push yourself to get yourself out of a rut. You can't blame it on anybody else. You can't push it off to somebody else. You got to do it yourself. It's interesting. I think it's an interesting lesson to be learned. I think it is. So the first episode here of this podcast, it's called Flights, Life, and Games. I think I thought of that on my way. I was driving around. I love driving around here in the city of Phoenix. No potholes in the road, no nothing. It's just every day is a great drive. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, myself and life, and then we'll get on to the games. Get on to what Sphinx Gamer is all about. To what I have a passion about, which is the games. So I might have moved out here a year ago, but it was just last week that I had a chance to finally fly back east to the East Coast, to the hometown, Philly. And I had quite an adventure with the airlines. Let me tell you something. I don't think I'm going to fly again anytime soon, but the flight from Phoenix to Philadelphia was direct. That was great. The trip back to Phoenix was absolutely terrible. So my first flight is with American Airlines, going from Philadelphia to Charlotte. Okay, it's only going to be 90 minutes, maybe 2-hour flight at best. And the captain gets on and he says, attention passengers, this is the captain speaking. Apparently there is a power outage at the Charlotte airport, and I've been told by the tower that we are going to sit here on the tarmac for a half hour to maybe an hour, and maybe we'll be able to continue our ride to Charlotte. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I can sit looking out the window for a half-hour delay. Okay, I get that. He said that there would be a delay for all the flights leaving out. So I thought, okay, my connecting flight out of Charlotte to Phoenix would be delayed. Okay, awesome. So it's 35 minutes, and finally the captain gives the okay to get the plane up and running. Awesome. We're on our way to Charlotte. Perfect. We land at Charlotte, and it's 12:55. I look on the departures screen. It says the flight to Phoenix is on schedule, leaving at 1 o'clock. It's on the other side of the entire freaking place in a different concourse level. And I'm like, crap. Well, it doesn't even matter if I'm running, because I don't even know where I'm going. So I'm able to get to the other side of the concourse, Concourse B. The flight where I landed in Charlotte was on Concourse A. And apparently the flight already left, And so I was stranded, I thought, in Charlotte. I didn't freak out, though. I didn't freak out. For some reason, I was like, okay, there's 300 other people, at least, on the plane. We're walking around. I see these people, and they missed their connecting flight, too. So I'm like, okay, this has to happen quite frequently. Even though this is my first time, this must happen frequently. Okay, how about I talk to customer service? So I stand in line, customer service. My connecting flight, by the way, out of Charlotte to Phoenix is U.S. Airways, not American Airlines. And I finally get up to the customer service agent after 30 to 40 minutes of waiting. The line was long, but it's like it took its time getting up. Yeah, very interesting. I had all day. I did have to go pee, but I had all day because, I'm left in Charlotte. There's nothing to do. It's all clouds outside. It's not like I'm going to go outside and play. So I get to the desk, and it happens, real quick. Must have happened in like less than 5 minutes. She took my ticket. She got me on the next flight, and it was boom, like that. I was like, wow. I didn't have to pay anything, and it was great. The only thing I had in my mind after I got done with that customer service agent is, all these frustrations. I couldn't check in online. I couldn't check in at a kiosk. The flight gets delayed. I'm squished in my seat between a family and their baby and everything. I was like, I can't believe flights are $500 or hundreds of dollars even to fly. I, I I don't understand why that is. Gas is what? Gas is $1.94 here in Phoenix per gallon. It might be a little bit more depending on where you live in the country. But it's expensive to fly. It's expensive to fly. And you might get there a little bit faster than driving or by other means, but it's expensive. I mean, what can you do? You either, go to another airline. If you have such terrible service with one, you might as well go to another. But that doesn't really hurt them, though, because, it's a billion-dollar industry. The only way that you would be able to hurt them is if you could convince everyone to to not fly anymore, but instead to drive. But who could you convince to drive across country instead of flying? People would be like, oh, the wear and tear on my car. Oh, I don't want to drive, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I love driving. I love driving across the country. I love seeing things. I can't stand long flights. I didn't like the Charlotte to Phoenix flight. I thought that was pretty long. I thought the Phoenix to Philly flight was pretty long too. That's like 4 or 5 hours sitting in a chair. The only thing you can do is either play a game on your phone. By the way, you can't use Wi-Fi because they charge you for that if you decide to hook your browser up there. You can look out the window to see the clouds, but there's really nothing to see. At least, clouds if you're not in the Phoenix Valley, because here it's rarely cloudy. Except for today. It does look a little cloudy, like it's going to rain. But I will never understand. And apparently, I read online somewhere that half your airline ticket is made up of fees and taxes anyway. I don't understand. I'll never understand. But good thing I'm not going to be flying anytime soon. I think I got my fill. And hopefully maybe later this year or by 2016 I'll fly again. That'll be the next time I visit home. But if there's one thing I do understand, though, it's time for us to finally move on. Let's finally move on. Let's talk about the games. Let's finally talk about video games. 2014 is behind us. 2015, it's now rolling in right in front of us, and it's going to go by fast. It's probably going to go by just as fast as 2014. If you thought 2014 went by fast, 2015 might go by just as fast. Or faster, depending on what you're doing. Time is just moving by so fast. So, if what events that have already transpired in 2014 can tell us what is around the corner here in 2015, I think first off is let's talk about how Microsoft has ramped up its war with Sony at the retail end. They cut their prices down. I think it was $50. You could get an Xbox One bundle for $349 or $350. Get a couple games with that as well. And apparently they were doing pretty well this past holiday. So kudos to them. Um, I know the Xbox One was my first console I picked up, entering the new generation. I think I picked it up back in January. And then I shortly got a PS4. I think it was quite a few months later, though. I think I got the PS4 in July or August or something like that. And let me tell you the reason why. Because even though the PS4 was cheaper, that didn't stop me buying the Xbox One with the Kinect, the stupid Kinect, so that the NSA can, look at me while I'm playing games or whatnot and listen in. This is what I told people back in like mid 2013. I thought that the PS4 was not worth buying at launch because of its lack of exclusive launch games. For the most part, this generation, and I speak of this current next gen generation as this generation, most of the games that came out were very multi-platform. I felt that there was no reason to get a PS4 because there just weren't any games on it that I exclusively wanted to play on PS4. Infamous, I didn't really care about Infamous Second Son. I liked it. I really liked Infamous 1. I felt Infamous 2 was almost exactly the same as Infamous 1, so I didn't really like it that much. So I was in no hurry to pick up and play Infamous Second Son. I was like, okay, that's okay. I'll pass. But by the end of this year, by the end of 2015, let me tell you, everyone needs to get a PS4. You got Uncharted 4. And hopefully you tuned into the PlayStation Experience keynote address. First, like 5 minutes, they show the Uncharted 4 demo. Uncharted is one of the best game series in the entire art form of gaming. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. The voice acting, the audio, the design, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite. And I'll be picking that up right when it comes out at the end of the year. But back to deciding the Xbox One or the PS4 earlier this year. Why I went to the Xbox One was that Dead Rising 3 and Forza. I'm a huge racer fan, first of all, and I love killing zombies. I like Dead Rising, so I was like, okay, I will drop $100 more for the Xbox One. Unfortunately, it was at the time where they didn't have the Connectless bundle, so I had to get Xbox One with Kinect, which is okay because I mean I don't even use it. I have it disconnected. It's wrapped up someplace right now. It's collecting dust. I don't use it at all. But I picked up the Xbox One for Dead Rising 3, you could say, because Forza 5, in my opinion, I didn't really like it that much. I thought Forza 3 and Forza 4 were really top-notch games. I think GT6 was better than Forza 5, even if it felt like more of an expansion of Gran Turismo 5. But, that's just my opinion. However, one thing I really didn't like, though, was the freemium content of the game. Or it's really not freemium. It's more like, purchase credits in order to, level up faster, progress through the game faster, or buy more cars and all that, BS. I didn't really like that. I know people who participated and bought plenty of credits and in-game dollars through the GT6 in-game store and Forza 5 and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate because as much as people like me don't like that system and want it to go away, these studios probably made a good chunk of cash off those systems, and honestly, we will probably see more of it as we progress further into this generation of games. And that's a real shame. And that's a real shame. If you haven't bought the Xbox One yet, and you're thinking you have plenty of time to purchase the discounted bundle, I'm very sorry to say, according to USA Today, the promotional price of $349 for the Xbox One will end January 3rd. That's 2 days after this broadcast or this publication of the podcast. It will end on January 3rd, and the Xbox One will return to their original price points of $399 without Kinect and $499 with Kinect. So that's $399 without Kinect and $499 with Kinect, I should say. Both bundles will. I think they're still doing the Assassin's Creed bundle. I heard they're still going to do that for both, so you can pick up the awesome Black Flag along with with Assassin's Creed Unity, which I have not played, so I can't say if it sucks. Another interesting story, I guess, from last year, but another game that is on its way of coming out later this year, I think, is Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think it was at E3 last year. It was announced that it was going to be a Xbox One exclusive, and I didn't mind because I have both consoles. It's like, okay, I mean, I can definitely work with that. If you haven't watched, or I should say, read my favorite games of 2014 post, I listed Tomb Raider as my favorite story game of 2014. I picked up the definitive edition shortly after I got the Xbox One, and I have to say I loved it. And my reasoning behind it is that there are not enough female protagonists, not enough good female leads in gaming today, and I just love the new Lara. I just love it. The her voice acting and in fact the whole cast I give props to. Kudos to them. The design of the game and everything. I just loved it. It brought back. It injected so much emotion into a franchise that I was familiar with, but I really appreciated how they rebooted this. So I'm really looking forward to the sequel. Um, and I think that the team over at Crystal Dynamics know what they have to improve on for that. But there's a lot of things that were good about the first Tomb Raider game that I'm sure that they are gonna um, continue in the Rise of the Tomb Raider game coming out. I believe it's the end of 2015. However, I wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed to 2016. But it's eventually coming out. It's going to be a timed exclusive for the Xbox One, coming out first, and then it's shortly going to hit PlayStation after that. If you been a fan of the site, you've been keeping track of what I've been posting on Sphinx Gamer, you might have noticed that I was at the PlayStation Experience earlier in the month in December, and I had a great time. Got there in time for the keynote, walked around, chatted with a few indie developers. You'll find videos of my interviews with them on YouTube. They've got amazing games, I tell you. Sony's doing a great job, bringing in indie developers, really incubating ideas, and really giving these guys a chance to get their games out there. It's amazing. Um, like I can't stop saying how much I love games and how, creativity has no bounds whatsoever. And it's awesome to meet these guys and talk to them and play their games. It's great. One of the games that I really enjoyed playing outside of couple indies was The Order. I think that game is really cool. I think that's a really, really cool game. And it was awesome to play that a little bit early. It comes out, I believe, next month in February. But I had a really good time. You should watch some videos of that online or whatnot, or Google it. The Order. Just amazing graphics. I think it's going to have an interesting soundtrack to it. They're hard at work on it, and I'm really looking forward to it. PSX is only like one of the few conventions that I really had a good time with. I've had my share of gaming conventions I've gone to in the past, and something was just really special about PSX. In fact, it was really the first one I've been to in quite a while, and that's just something that I love doing. I really want to show you guys the inside of the expo. I mean, sure, there's the big league guys that are doing that, but there's so many other conventions and everything like that. Sphinx Gamer is about, I want to go there and just show you guys my adventure there. Because it's so awesome, I think. So neat to sit in on the panels and play the games and walk around the expo floor. I hope to get into more convention and expos here in 2015 as time moves on. PAX East will not be one of them, though. I'm so small time that I got denied. I got denied a media pass. I'm not big time enough. And that's okay. I'm not salty about it at all. I'm not salty about it at all. I mean, the PAX East registration for general admission already closed. Apparently, tickets go by. They sell out like in days, maybe even hours. I don't know. But I completely missed the deadline. So when I stumbled upon it, I was like, okay, let me see if I can get in with the media. I'll type in my website, blah, blah, blah. But I got denied. So I will not be at PAX East, which is good because a plane ticket and lodging there is like $600, $800, maybe even $1,000. I calculated anyway. So I'll have to pass. One day I'll go to Boston, but it won't be this year. PAX South is at the end of this month. That's another convention, unfortunately, I won't be able to attend to. Day job and other responsibilities, unfortunately, but I would love to go there. And apparently this is PAX South. This is its first year um, down in Texas. So those who are going to go there, hope you guys have a fun time. I'm sure it's going to be big. PAX as a whole is a huge event, um, or a huge series of events, I should say, because they have PAX South now, and they have PAX East, PAX Prime, PAX Australia, and every year it's a huge, awesome gathering. So I've heard. I've never been to one before, but hopefully one day I will. And there's also many other conventions and expos that I have on my docket that I'm trying to get into. And stay tuned to the website. Stay tuned to the Twitter. Our Twitter. It's at Sphinx underscore gamer on Twitter. And we'll see if there are any updates. I can only hope. I can only hope. Being denied at PAX East. You know, I think I saw that coming. I think I'm not too surprised about that. Um, what can you do? What can you do? So I think we're just about wrapping up here. Normally I would try to make these podcasts about 45 minutes to an hour long, but today I think we're just going to be a few minutes shy of uh, of the 45-minute line, and that's okay. I'm going to try to get some kind of co-host on here to make it a little bit more interesting. I figure that a lot of the podcasts out there, they are they. I think it's awesome when they're having two or more co-hosts because it's conversational and it's a lot better than just one person babbling on or ranting like me about stuff. And I would really I enjoy that. So look in future episodes. I don't know if it's going to be next week or not. That I'll have a co-host for you guys. Um, Good one. Probably not. I'll just drag them off the street or something. To talk about gaming and everything like that. And really, I mean, this is how it's going to be. This is Sphinx Gamer Podcast. A little bit about the website, a little bit about the plans and everything like that. And I appreciate any kind of support, comments, likes, stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts. Twitter, we're on Facebook, Google Plus, and YouTube as well. Um, in case you are a giving kind, you can also give back as well, donations. I think there will be a link in the description there for that. There's also a thing on the website. I'll have you recognized on the podcast and also on the website. Every little bit helps. Just one day to free myself from the day job. But so I hope. So I freaking hope. So connect with us on those social platforms. Let me know your thoughts. This is about user engagement, so tweet your thoughts to us, or to me, I should say, at Sphinx underscore gaming, or gamer, I should say, at Sphinx underscore gamer. Look for that logo to make sure you're at the right profile there, and let us know your thoughts. So thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. If you listen through all this, you have my thanks. You are awesome. I plan to do one every week, every Thursday. You'll see this online. Um, that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys all next Thursday.